Hey guys, welcome down. I'm Adam.
And I'm Bruce.
Yeah, and welcome back to the sexiest news story this side of clickbait.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's end of quarter time, which means we have some arousing revenue numbers for you.
Yeah, all we ask is that you keep it in your pants.
At least for the first few minutes. Yeah, well, you can't stop. Just go ahead and get started.
Yep.
Just pull it out right now.
The faster you're flaccid, the sooner we can get through this. So Microsoft announced their Q4 2016 revenues today, which includes their gaming division. Huzzah. And the news, sadly, isn't that hot for them.
Oh boy, Microsoft's gaming revenue decreased by $152 million year over year, which is to say it decreased that amount compared to the same period last year.
That amounts to a 9% dip in revenues, which is significant, right, Lawrence?
Yeah, that's a significant chunk of change,
Yeah.
especially when you would expect that to be largely on keel. Microsoft attributes this to a dip in Xbox hardware revenue, which itself is caused by a couple of factors. One, Xbox Ones have just been getting cheaper, and they're bundled with a shitload of stuff, and then also there are just fewer Xbox Ones getting sold.
Uh-oh.
So before this sounds a little too dire, this dip is actually fairly predictable. It's about when it happens. We're 3 years into this console cycle, which is about the time hardware sales start flagging off. So I actually wanted to compare this to the same period back in Xbox 360 days, which would be about 2008. Problem is, that's exactly when all the costs started hitting from their giant Xbox 360 return program.
Oh.
Remember all the Red Ring stuff and that?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
those numbers just got completely blown out by all that stuff. So it was really hard to get an apples-to-apples comparison. At any rate, this is about the time when console manufacturers start releasing new models, which reinvigorate sales. For the 360, we had the, what was it called? I guess it was called the S, right? Yeah, the revisions get weird. The actual, the first one that had the different form factor with a little hard drive cubby on the bottom, that one, that hit about now. Oy.
Wouldn't you know it, Microsoft's Xbox One S, the smaller redesigned Xbox One, will launch in just 2 weeks on August 2nd.
Odds are this will give Xbox hardware a revenue jolt over this holiday.
And unlike previous console cycles, the Xbox division is also working on Project Scorpio.
I like to call it Scorpion.
That's wrong.
Oh. In case you're not familiar, this is an iteration of the Xbox One that will be functionally more powerful than existing models. It's a pretty cool idea, a console that will work with a platform's existing library, but offer improved performance.
Yeah, essentially, they found a way to sell new, full retail console units in the middle of a console cycle. They've done it. Even more than the Xbox One S, Scorpio should give Xbox hardware a huge revenue shot. Only problem is, we have no idea when it's coming out or how much it'll cost.
Right, but when you put it in context of keeping Xbox hardware revenue high, you can start to see the pieces fall into place. Xbox One S this holiday to keep sales on an even keel, then Scorpio maybe summer 2017?
Oh, next year, Lawrence? You think so?
I could see that.
Okay.
Maybe next summer, next holiday, something like that.
Yeah, why announce it if they're not gonna put it out next year?
Can't wait too long. Essentially, they've told people don't buy a new console for a while unless you want to only spend a couple $100s.
Right.
It would make more sense to have the price points out there, but they're probably still figuring out what those are. At any rate, yeah, expect that to come along pretty quickly. Xbox One S isn't going to last too long in terms of reinvigorating hardware sales, but essentially launching an entirely new console, that's going to last for a couple of years. So once the Scorpio hits, we'll have some money flow for a while.
Regardless, you can appreciate the clever thinking from Microsoft to keep the hardware side of the business humming along by ignoring traditional console release strategies.
Yeah, and to be fair, Sony's doing the same thing. The PlayStation 4 Neo is the same idea as Project Scorpio, a mid-generation hardware bump that will improve the functionality of the system without invalidating its current software lineup.
Yeah, smart stuff all around, especially if you enjoy throwing down hundreds of dollars on plastic and silicon.
Who doesn't?
This is a consumer society, after all. That's what we do.
I thought we were talking about women.
Speaking of Sony, now's about when we compare Microsoft and Sony's hardware sales to see exactly how hard of a paddle an Xbox is getting. Lawrence, let's do it.
We can't!
Shut up. Why not?
Yeah, Sony hasn't released their quarterly revenues yet.
Oh,
Jerks.
So we're waiting on that. But what about console sales? Surely we can compare total units sold between Xbox One and PlayStation 4.
Let's do it. Let's go to the board.
We need
Let's
to fight.
start to the scoreboard. No, we can't do that either.
No.
Microsoft stopped reporting Xbox units sold back in October 2015.
Oh,
Man.
I know why.
At the time, they said going forward they would only report Xbox Live active users, which, to be frank, is probably a better metric of the brand's success than how many bulky Xbox VCRs are just out there gathering dust, bouncing out uneven tables, or keeping doors open. I mean, you can have a lot of just consoles sitting around, but the ongoing revenue is what Microsoft cares about more than just having plastic out there in the wild. So,
Okay.
on that note, Xbox is making some steady progress. Microsoft reported that Xbox Live monthly active users grew 33% year over year to 49 million.
Wow.
Which is crazy and good.
Holy shit.
That user growth led to Xbox Live revenue increasing by 4% year over year, which they attribute to both the volume of transactions, more people are buying more things, and the revenue per transaction. Each of those transactions brings in more money. Oh, it's cool stuff.
So even though Microsoft is selling fewer Xboxes and selling them for less at a pop, users and revenue still went up on the digital side of things. We're not executives at Microsoft, but that sounds like it's perfectly in line with Xbox's strategy. Basically, they want to become a service.
Yeah, it's like Microsoft actually knows what they're doing, and they've been a very, very successful business for very many years. So that's kind of cool.
Where are those deleted emails, Xbox?
Huh?
Are we talking about Hillary
The
Clinton?
deleted emails. What have you done with them?
Talking about
What am I supposed to do with my Kinect?
Those hips, man, you could cut cheese on those hips.
I saw a homeless dude who had like some body fat on him. He was walking in the middle of the street this morning, as you do. But you could tell he was ripped from all the meth he did.
Oh yeah, because of all the core strength. It takes a lot of core strength
Yeah.
to like tense up all the time.
There's no downside. You get to do meth, and you get shredded.
And you get shredded.
And you walk amongst the traffic like a king.
And you probably get laid a lot. If you're on meth, I'm
What?
guessing you get laid a lot.
Watch out, baby. I'm going to come on your tits. It's just a 7-Eleven.
I think I'm gonna marry this girl.